36 months, but probably closer to 30 months, the most economically compelling place to put AI will be space. And then it will get it'll then get like ridiculously better to be in space. And then the scaling, the only place you can really scale is space. Once you start thinking in terms of what percentage of the sun's power are you harnessing, you realize you have to go to space.
Those guys, or is it a subcontractor?
No, it's other companies. I mean, sometimes they have a little bit of casting capability in house, but I'm just saying you can just call any of the turbine makers and they will tell you. Yeah. It's not top secret. It's probably on the internet right now.
Yeah. If it wasn't for the tariffs, would Colossus be solar powered?
It would be much easier to make it solar powered. Yeah. The tariffs are nuts. It's several 100%. So,
don't you know some people?
We also need speed. Yeah, no. President has his. We don't agree on everything. Yeah, I have to be careful about saying things about companies that might go public.
If you make general statements,
that's never been a problem for you, Elon.
There's a price to pay for these things.
Make some general statements for us about the depth of the capital markets between public and private markets.
Normally, I would say that's true. Like I said, I'd like to talk about this in more detail, but the problem is like if you talk about public companies before they become public, you get into trouble, and then you have to delay your offering.
And as we said, we're solving for speed.
Yes, exactly. So that you can't hype companies that might go public. So that's why we have to be a little careful here.
Why don't you do the Jensen thing and just prepay TSMC to build more fabs for you?
I've already told them that.
But they won't take your money? Like, what's going on?
They're building fabs as fast. No. They're building fabs as fast as they can. And so is Samsung. They're pedal to the metal. I mean, they're going, balls to the wall.
One intuition you could have for when we get this robotic stuff is that it takes quite a few years to go from the compelling demo to actually being able to use it in the real world. So 10 years ago, you had really compelling demos of self-driving, but only now we have robotaxi and Waymo and all these services scaling up. So shouldn't this make one pessimistic on, say, household robots? Because we don't even quite have the compelling demos yet of, say, the really advanced hand.
Well, we've been working on humanoid robots now for a while.
I think the meta question is why it had to be you who made that decision. There's many engineers on your team.
Yeah, how did the team not arrive at this deal?
Yeah, exactly. This is a part of a broader question of understanding your comparative advantage at your companies.
It was because we were making very slow progress with carbon fiber. I was like, okay, we've got to try something else. Now, for the Falcon 9, the primary airframe is made of aluminum lithium, which is a very, very good strength to weight. And then you want to figure out what the limiting factor is at any point in time and help the team address that limiting factor.
Can you maybe talk about so Starlink was slowly in the works for many years.
We talked about it all the way in the beginning of the company.
Yeah, and so then there was a team you had built in Redmond, and then at one point you decided this team is just not cutting it. But again, how did you, it went for a few years slowly, and so why didn't you act earlier, and why did you act when you did? Why was that the right moment at which to act?
Maybe, but we found that over 7 years, the Social Security fraud they estimated was 70 billion over 7 years, so 10 billion a year. So I'd be curious to see what the other 490 billion is.
Federal government expenditures are $7.5 trillion a year.
Yeah.
What percentage? How competent do you think government is?
The discretionary spending there is 15%.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Most of the fraud is non-discretionary. It's basically fraudulent Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, disability, zero. Okay, so then would you say that fraud and waste that the government is 90%? That also would be quite generous. But if it's only 90%, that means that there's $750 billion a year of waste and fraud.